What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got some more NBA news to, of course, be talking about with you guys. At the time of making this video, the Cleveland Cavaliers are extremely interested in potentially signing Josh Hart. You know, again, as I said, recording this, they haven't signed him, but I'm sure when this video does come out, there is a big chance a signing of Josh Hart will have possibly be done. So, again, I guess the title of this video will kind of change depending on what the situation is. But Chris Fedor, or Fedor, I found out is actually how you say his last name, I believe, of Cleveland.com has actually said that the Cleveland Cavaliers have had major discussions on a sign and trade of Josh Hart, sources say. While he's not a shooter they were wanting when free agent began, those other options went quickly, and now they're looking at many possibilities. Sign and trades are more complicated though. We also got other things that kind of say that disclosed sources that are saying that Josh Hart is interested in the Cavs, and that a sign and trade currently right now is kind of being looked at. Now, in my opinion, look, again, at the time making this video, he hasn't been signed, but I'm sure when it does come out, he'll probably be signed. Either way, I'm not really too keen on Josh Hart in a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey. In my opinion, I just think the Cavs have had one of the worst free agencies they possibly could have had. Like, I mean, they went into this free agency with around, I believe it was $29 million or something like that in cap to spend. $20 million of it per year got spent on Jarrett Allen, and $9 million right now is currently being left on the floor. Now, that $9 million per year was supposed to go to a shooter. This class, this free agency class had one of the biggest wide varieties of shooters in it, and it also had one of the biggest varieties of wings. The Cavs have so far not signed a shooter at all. Instead, are looking at a player like Josh Hart, who is not a great shooter. Don't get me wrong, I guess there is a chance that he could potentially grow into one over time, but he's just not that guy. And I really don't like how the Cavs could be throwing this dude like a $10 million per year type deal when he's not what we need, and it seems like they will just be signing him just because they've got money available and they need to spend it. Koby Altman, the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers, needs to make some signings in free agency, and he didn't. Since he's like 4 years he's been with the Cavs, he's 3 off seasons I believe, the best player I think he has signed in free agency, not counting an extension of Kevin Love, Jarrett Allen, whatever, the best player I believe he has signed is David Nwaba. That is the best player Koby Altman has signed. It is becoming ridiculous now how this guy cannot sign anyone. I don't think people think Cleveland is that bad that they can't literally get anyone. I'm sure there would have been players out there that they could have gotten. And the issue is, this problem is probably not going to be fixed. They still have Kevin Love's $30 million contract, Cedi Osman's $9 million, and Larry Nance's $10 million. All 3 of those players need to be traded, or for Kevin Love's sake, needs to be bought out. And Cedi Osman, who knows what's going to be happening with him. Larry Nance is still a good Cavalier, but come on now. They needed to trade him and get a pick or something like that. They've got so much depth at power forward, Kevin Love, Evan Mobley, Dean Wade, and then they of course had Isaiah Hartenstein, center, who they didn't bring back. Jarrett Allen they of course brought back. They've still got that dude, I don't even know how you say his name, but he played towards the end of the season from the Clippers. I completely forgot his name. Is it like Kevin Galley or something? They've got him as well. They've got like, about 5 or 6 power forward / centers right now. And I just don't think they really needed that. Like, they literally didn't bring back Isaiah Hartenstein, fair enough. But then go and trade Larry Nance, and you shouldn't be playing like these power forwards and centers this much money. Like, Larry Nance he's on a good contract, but then when you factor in Kevin Love's $30 million he's making, it becomes an issue when you're playing 2 power forwards that aren't overall starters in the NBA anymore. $40 million between the two. It's a very difficult thing to look at. And look, I know Larry Nance has done a lot for Cleveland, but I think his time is up. He needs to be traded. Jetty Osman, dude, don't even get me started on how much he needs to be traded or waived or whatever. But the Cavs should at least have some cap here and there. I would save the cap if I was the Cleveland Cavaliers. Considering Colin Sexton's going to be looking for an extension very soon, I still don't know if he'll get traded or not. The issue with Colin Sexton is the man wants too much money, and there's a lot of value out there for him right now. So he's got to watch it. He could definitely get traded any second. But then, you know, I fault Kobe Altman on all these things, like not being active enough in free agency. But also, it's not like he's drafted bad. In fact, he's top 10 picks. He hasn't failed with a pick. Colin Sexton's a good player. Darius Garland's the future face of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Isaac Okoro is... Look, he had a right rookie season. I think he can definitely develop into being a good player. And Evan Mobley was a great pick as well. Of course, Dylan Windler, I did not like that pick. Kevin Porter Jr. was a great pick, but then, oh man, don't get me started on that situation. It's just, he's drafted alright, but he's just not doing anything in free agency. And he really needs to, you know, somehow get Kevin Love off this team, like through a buyout or something. Like, something needs to happen. I don't know what it is, but we need some fresh blood on, you know, in this team, you know what I mean? So, like, it's an issue, and I don't think Josh Hart's that player. I just don't think Josh Hart's really the guy they should be bringing in. I think, why not just save the $9 million, $10 million that you have, and then maybe, of course, use that in free agency or something next year. You know, Ricky Rubio's $17 million contract will be declining. You've got that. You've got the $10 million, you know, that hasn't been spent at the time making this video, but it probably will have been with Josh Hart. And then hopefully, you know, if Kevin Love eventually goes bye-bye next year, it's another $30 million. They could have like $50 million to spend plus in next free agency if they were to play their cards right. But again, will they? Probably not. They'll probably still somehow find a way to stuff it up, which is really disheartening. But hey, it is the Cleveland Cavaliers we are talking about here. But of course, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for all the latest NBA content and NBA news. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel and my IRL/long channels. And don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already, which I will all be linking in the description down below. But as I was saying, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.